A foreclosure can be postponed. First and foremost, the thought process should be, how do I create space? How do I create time?
I think at the end of the day, for me, this is long-term. Helping people will always be there. And there's part of me that didn't do everything I can do to help somebody in need.
Okay.
So through Aster Blaster, I got an off-market listing.
Woo!
I've gotten multiple. Thing is firing up. I'm telling you, after like 8, 9 touches, like people start getting those text messages over and over again, and you become it. This does not happen overnight, Aster Blaster. And in my head, I'm like, give it 90, 120, 150 days. And boy, now I'm getting the 6 or 7 or 8 touches coming around. It's the no agent left behind. I am getting a ton of off-market properties, and it's been awesome. So I got this one in Kershaw, South Carolina. No clue where it is.
Okay.
No clue. But I have a buyer in Columbia. I said, let me help you. Send it to my buyer, goes, I flip in Kershaw. I'm like, of course, you great, fantastic. So I went to the agent and said, hey, I've got a buyer. It was very transparent, but he needs to go see it. It's a larger property for the area. And then he goes, well, it has to be quick because it's getting foreclosed on June 6th. And all money has to be in on June 2nd. And this is about a week ago. And I'm like, okay, talk to my buyer. I'm like, here's the terms, here's everything. He's like, I got it. He was going to have his GC come out last Monday at 3:00. We made a deal. We made the appointment. The seller was going to be there, but he was going to be in his back. Everything was going to be good. Very nervous seller. His life is getting foreclosed on.
Yep.
So I came in, I gave my price that I agreed upon with the buyer. He's like, wow, that's the best price we've had. I'm like, okay, great. My buyer gave the price. It was a nice spread in there. I get a call from the seller's agent about 2 hours after the appointment was supposed to happen. No show. Couldn't get a hold of my buyer. Couldn't get a hold of anyone. And I called the seller's agent, very nice Southern gentleman. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. Next day comes, can't get a hold of him. And I think you may know this buyer. It was off. And finally, the buyer calls me. I'm so sorry. There's a family issue, which I firmly believe this is a good guy. He's like, I can come out tomorrow. Call up the seller's agent. I'm like, hey, so let's meet. This is about 24 hours later. And the seller's agent goes, my seller took another offer. I think I was locking it up at 102.5. They took an offer at 70. And why? Because the person was true to their word and he needed the cash fast.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here going, what could I have done differently? I could have locked it up.
Yep.
If somebody's foreclosure was happening, I would do anything and everything. If it wasn't this buyer, we have a community of 4,000 people. We would have found somebody.
Yep.
But part of me was like, I'm early on in this journey and I did not trust. I didn't trust. And I called up the seller's agent a day later and I said, I'm sorry, I let you down. You thought you had a great deal and you did. I'm the one that messed up. And please know that in the future, I'm going to be better. I'm glad your seller is not losing his home or losing everything, but I felt responsible for not doing more with your seller. And I said, if there's anything you can pass on to him and say, I wish him the best of luck. And if there's anything in the future that he needs, I will be there. Not anybody else. So I know what I could have done. Is there anything that you would have done differently versus what
so right off the hop, and I'm so glad you're bringing this up because this is something that everybody can take note to. A foreclosure can be postponed. And so first and foremost, the thought process should be, how do I create space? How do I create time? So locking it up, the best way to have postponed the foreclosure would have been to put the house under contract and then call the lender and have the foreclosure postponed.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe, and here's a quick word from our sponsor. Hey there. This video is brought to you by Privy. Do yourself a favor and click on the link in the description. Privy can help you find real estate deals at a deep discount. Don't be a jabroni. Click on the linky.
That gives you so much time now, right? Because they'll postpone it 30 days. Now you can breathe. Now the seller can breathe. Everybody's got a little bit more space. And then you would have had time for the buyer to come in. Maybe the buyer wouldn't have done it at the price. Maybe you would have had to renegotiate, and that's okay. But having taken that decisive move of taking the step and putting it under contract with the knowing that this may not work, but I'm going to save this. I'm going to buy this man 30 days and postpone the foreclosure. That in itself is a godsend right now. Right. So let me help him create this time, create the space, postpone the foreclosure, and then we'll attack what's going down the road. But Brad, you can't blame yourself for things you don't know, right? You didn't know that. The experience of that circumstance hadn't happened to you in your world yet. And now it has. So now you know, right? So here's the thing. Seller got what he was going to be willing to take. His situation is solved. Buyer unfortunately missed the boat. You unfortunately missed the boat. And we take those situations as learning opportunities. So you learn, I can postpone foreclosures. I have to take decisive action, especially in these very, very critical moments where things could go wrong and someone's life or livelihood or their money could be involved. I have to, doing my part is helping this person create that time and create an opportunity there. So you learn the process. That's it.
Thanks for watching another one of my YouTube videos. Now it's your turn to go out and take some action. But before you do, like and subscribe to my channel because the law of reciprocity means you owe me, bitch.